warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For today's video, we will talk about behavior of LGBTQ. Nowadays, LGBTQ is not a new term for all of us. LGBTQ is a stand for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and also questioning people. Why LGBTQ is haram in Islam? First, it is based on Al-Quran Surah Al-A'raf verse 80 and 81.
وَلُوطًا إِذْ قَالَ لِقَوْمِهِ أَتَأْتُونَ الْفَاحِشَةَ مَا سَبَقَكُمْ بِهَا مِنْ أَحَدٍ مِنَ الْعَالَمِينَ إِنَّكُمْ لَتَأْتُونَ الرِّجَالَ شَهْوَةً مِنْ دُونِ النِّسَاءِ بَلْ أَنْتُمْ قَوْمٌ مُسْرِفُونَ.
LGBTQ can lead into a serious disease. Third, it is again the feature of human and nature. And the last one is LGBT given from human group.
And I'm going to talk about LGBTQ in Islam. As a Muslim, if we talk about LGBT, the first thing that has come to mind is Sodom and Gomorrah. This race is the first human on earth that do this wrong deed. If there is no other human before them that has done these wrongful deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Prophet Lut to preach for them about how wrong their wrongdoing is, but they did not listen, and in fact they even slandered the Prophet Lut. Allah has created two genders in this world. They are perfect match as a girl needs her man and a man needs his girls. Sodom and Gomorrah at that time was the most corrupted and evil city that has ever existed. The scholar says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not describe any tribe as bad as he described the Lut tribe. It is also has been mentioned that this tribe has been described as Fasik, Kafir and also Jahir. Allah described them with the worst and bad description of someone being described. It's enough proof of how much Allah hates and despises same-sex relationships. Prophet Lut preached them every day and every way that is possible to his people to make them back to Allah, to make them believe in Allah, and to make them realize that same-sex relationship is very wrong in every aspect. Sodom and Gomorrah was the biggest example of what will happen to us if we continue to support these wrong deeds. This generation not just has repeated what has Lut tribe done, they also getting more innovative with their crime and creating more gender and expect us to accept this wrong.
My name is Farah Ayuni, and today I would like to talk about the acceptance of LGBT in the country outside Malaysia. As we can see nowadays, some countries outside Malaysia, they are free to show if they are LGBT. It is because of the support that they get, as we can see in this video. Next, there are also have LGBT movies and drama. From this side, we can clearly see that they are also free to show to public about LGBT, and it is a normal thing for them. In addition, the marriage between the same gender also a common thing in a country which is support LGBT.
Sometimes, do we ever wonder what kind of treat should be given to these LGBT groups? Well, I'm going to share the correct ways to treat these people based from the Islamic perspective and non-Muslim perspective. Firstly, let's go through the non-Muslim perspective. Some ways that are correctly used include the law enforcement by the government. This method shows the power of a government that the government even has the right to sue or punish them. The second method is organizing seminars for social development, psychological approach and personality development. The next crucial step is need to be done by the societies. It includes understanding their problems and helping them overcoming their problems. Besides, the society could also advise and give influences. Next, I'll move to the Islamic perspective. Some authorities or freelance speakers often help these LGBT groups by giving advice through these two ways, the engagement and the confrontational one. Some of them believe that this engagement way is the safest and the best way to advise this LGBT group, as the engagement way is the softest way of giving lectures. The other methods are currently used by some authorities also include Islamic psycho-spiritual, ilaj syar'i and syar'i counseling, educational approaches, integrated da'wah, prevention campaigns, syar'i counseling and guidance. Thank you.
The summary for this topic is, as you can see, gay, bisexual and lesbian Muslims have become increasingly visible in recent years. They often say that we should not condemn each other that way and that Allah Himself has created diversity. In information provision, teachers and advisors must think carefully about the position from which they are doing this. If you are a Muslim yourself, you have a very different position than if you have a different belief or do not believe. And then the choice of whether or not to comment on the Quran and other Islamic regulations is not self-evident. You can only do that if you are an expert in Islam. Even then, make sure not to educate with a judgmental view of Islam. For non-Muslim teachers and activists, we recommend not to get drawn into a religious discussion, but to enter into a dialogue about democracy and how we can live together while dealing well with difference. Thank you.